Welcome to Reykjavík Pride's Newscast. My name is Valur Grettisson, I'm an editor-in-chief at Reykjavík Pride. We're here at the university area in Reykjavík, downtown Reykjavík. We're not here because of higher education, we'll explain that later on in the video. But yeah, welcome. Let's start with COVID. Let's just get that away. There were 0 cases in COVID cases yesterday, which is good. And we had this like a few days ago also. They've been rocking from like 0 up to 6. I think they've not gone over 6 cases for a while now. This means that we have 72 individuals in isolation which have COVID-19. 363 are in quarantine, but 1 is at the hospital. That's the bad news. That's new, and it means that he's not in intensive care, but I mean, let's hope it doesn't end there. All in all, we had 2,161 COVID cases from the start of the epidemic, which is fairly low, like if you compare it to other countries, but then again, we are only 360,000. So. Is still something. The Ministry of Health also announced this moments ago. I was literally taking the last peek on my screen when I saw this news. The Ministry of Health, Svandís Svavarsdóttir, she announced that the borders will stay the same until 6th of October. This means that we have to test 2 times. First when we come to Iceland, then we have to quarantine for 5 days, and then we have to test again. We even have like intern that went through this. She says that this is not very painful, this is just boring, but she could actually work with us and for us as she was in quarantine. Also, some places they have options. You can go like into the wild and be in like in a summer cottage, and you are free to go into the nature if you come to Iceland, for example. But this is not all just hanging in your hotel room, just dying from boredom. You can also go out as long as you're not in the city, like touching everything or licking a doorknob or something. And then to the like perhaps serious news. Margrét Adamsdóttir, she's a former employer of the Polish embassy in Reykjavík, and she has filed a complaint with the Polish Foreign Ministry, alleging she was repeatedly bullied by the ambassadors. Want to go up here? This is the university, by the way. Perhaps you show them the higher education in Iceland. Margrét Adamsdóttir is a former employer of the Polish embassy in Reykjavík, and she has filed a complaint with the Polish foreign minister, alleging she was repeatedly bullied by Ambassador Gerard Pokrusinski. In part of participating, she basically participated in Gay Pride in Iceland, and the Polish ministry said like this was not good. The ministry is reportedly investigating a matter, and the embassy has declined to comment. Margaret appeared in the news and said that she thought that it was connected to participating in the early, like last year, Gay Pride. It was not the same this year because of the COVID. And this is a direct quote. He said that I was an employer of the embassy, need to take this into consideration and not damage his image nor of the embassy, she told reporters. She told him that she did not see it as a political statement to take part in the Pride. Because of course, this is not a political venue. This is, in Icelandic, it's actually called like gleðiganga, which means directly like as a happy march. So there is no politics involved unless you want to categorize this as like human rights as politics. Yeah. The case is now on the table of the Foreign Ministry of Poland and has even been brought up in the parliament. Krzysztof Śmiszek, sorry, yeah, a lot of activity in this place in the city. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, Krzysztof Śmiszek, an MP for the party RVK. RVK, right? I don't know. He submitted a formal question to Foreign Ministry. I can't really say this name. Zbigniew Rau last Monday, and the minister has 3 weeks to respond. So this has become like a political issue in Poland because it evolves around participating in gay pride, which is for Icelanders looks odd, to be honest. So the ministry has 3 weeks to respond, and they have not been able to talk to the media or given any they have not given any interviews. But we know how things stand in Poland. It's like a very different political situation than from Iceland. Of course, we as lovers of the democracy, we respect this. But we are perhaps, most countrymen in Iceland are not perhaps agree with this idea that gay pride is in some ways a political thing or human rights. Yeah. And then to the silly English footballers, right? If you live in UK, you must have noticed this. These 2 young football players broke quarantine laws in Iceland, and I mentioned this in our last newscast. And what the guys did, I don't really even remember their name, like Fodder and something else. They're playing for Manchester City and Manchester United. These are like young boys, they're like 19, 20 years old. And they invited 2 girls to the room, but the girls, they recorded this and it leaked out from the social media. And of course, it became clear that they were breaking quarantine because they were in this bubble. But the girls, notice this, they didn't break any laws. The boys were fined, they had to pay 250,000 Icelandic krona or 1,300 British pounds for this silliness. Of course, they were kicked out of the team, for now at least. And this has been like a storm in the Great Britain, where they are like they're criticizing them heavily. But there was also another thing that happened, and Icelanders were quite pissed about. It was the slut shaming. The girls were like heavily criticized for go and meet them. This did not appear in the media, but this was like very obvious and heavy criticism on the social media. And people are saying they were sluts, they were like, are they prostitutes, which they are not, of course, and so on and so on. These were just 2 girls, and they like, I don't know what you know about this in Iceland, but like sexual liberty in Iceland is very open, and it's very like, it's not a big deal, first of all, to sleep with another person just in one night, and so on. So we have like a very different culture when it comes to this, both boys and girls. So yeah, it's like we would not ever call them sluts for this. And by the way, they didn't even sleep together. They just visited them and they just hang out for the night. Well, they say that, of course. But this ended up that the member of the parliament for the Social Democratic Party, Helga Vala Helgadóttir, she criticized this heavily, and also a lot of artists, and most notable is Auður Jónsdóttir, which is one of Iceland's like top writers. She said like if there were cell phones when she was younger, she would have been in a lot of trouble, and she explained why. You want to go here? And you have to read this. This is at kjarnin.is. You can just go through Google Translate with it, and it's a hilarious article that she wrote about all the crazy stuff that she was up to, and we love it. So, what happened now is that the boys just paid their fine. They went from Iceland, and the girls are still like dealing with the downfall. The British press is like heavily on them. The mother of one of them criticized the Icelandic and the English press, said this was just way too much, and they were like, these girls are like young women, like 19 and 20 years old, and it's just outrageous how they have been doing this. I mean, say what you say. You've seen them probably on the cover of these newspapers. They are like most often almost not in clothes, but that is how they want to portray themselves on social media. So I guess that's like just what happens when you do that. But what's most notable is that this is the hotel that this actually happened at. And there was accusations that one of the employer here was bribed to allow the girls to come in. They say that the son said that he got paid a lot of money. Everybody say this is false in Iceland, but then again, the son have not shown any concrete evidence, but the people that work here haven't either. So, a little bit about culture in Reykjavík. Reykjavík Grapevine came out today. This is our cover today, and this is Gyða Valdísdóttir. And these are snails in her face, if you're wondering. It's weird, but it's absolutely fantastic. Viðar Logi took the pictures. He's an up-and-coming and brilliant photographer. Gyða actually is a very famous artist in Iceland. If you live in the UK or just love indie music, you probably know her from example from the cover of Belle Sebastian's album Fold Your Hands, Child, Walk Like a Peasant. She has a twin sister, and they're on the cover. And they are both of these sisters, of course, incredibly talented. And for example, she got the Nordic Prize Music Awards, Gyða, last year for her album. So I encourage you to go online on grapevine.is. You can find this in PDF, and you can check this out. Also, Monsters of Men, they released a new song, a new video. You can find this on our homepage. So there are like a lot of fine things happening in Icelandic culture. The theater is coming back together, and like you see now, like things are pretty normal if you want. This is it for the news. Remember to like and subscribe, and please remember our shop. We're still working on the polymers. We were just publishing this paper yesterday, so we've been kind of busy. But it will happen in the next few days. And remember our High Five Club. We really need your support right now. We're not doing very well because of the strict rules on the borders. There are absolutely no tourists in Iceland. So this means less money for us, at least. A few advertisers, but we're trying to diverse, and you could actually help us a lot if you would subscribe and help us like that. You can find this on grapevine.is. It's called High Five Club. Something more, Art? No? Well, thank you and goodbye. Until next time. My name is Valur Grettisson, and this is of course Polly. And yeah, goodbye. Come on. Whoop. Ah.